Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick rundown of the three different models of the Fidget Cube that have come in over the past week or so. We'll start with the first one, which is of the vinyl black one. So all the features are black, plus a black body. Made of decent, high quality vinyl. All the features work exactly as they should, and it's a really nice little cube. But we've seen that one already, and I've talked about that one a lot already. The next one to arrive was this one, which appears to actually be from the same factory, most likely. It's again of extremely good quality vinyl body. All the parts work exactly like they should. It's nice and clicky when you want it to be, or you can have it nice and subtle and silent when you don't. It's got red buttons. 3 of them click as they should and 2 of them silent. But apart from those 5 red buttons, there aren't actually any other red bits to it. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but again, it's a very nice looking cube. It works very well. Now, of the last of these cubes from this make, or this type, should I say, is this one. Now, this one is from a different maker and a different seller. You can see straight away the ball bearing is mounted slightly differently in the front. It's got a slight lip around the edge, which the other ones do not. It clicks in and it rolls about really nicely. The dials all turn nicely. As you can see, it's white vinyl, which is fine. The problem I've found with this white cube is because it looks so nice, because it's white and black, you're always frightened of getting the body dirty on it. Now, of course, you can wash these things, I'm guessing, and as long as you left them to dry out naturally, I'm sure that would probably be okay. But, and of course, you can give them a quick wipe down. That's no problem at all. But I don't know. I really like the look of this one. I think its name on the official Fidget Cube site is Dice, I think is the colour name. It's got a slightly lower profile joystick, but still works really well. Really nice feel to it. It's got the 3 tactile sounding buttons, and then you've got the 2 silent ones, as the other cubes have. And all the other functions work as they should do. So, like I say, it's a really nice cube. And it actually even came with a little velvet bag, which Antsy have promised to be sending out with their cubes, but helpfully yesterday I lost it. So unfortunately I don't have the little black velvet bag to show you, but it was a little black velvety type bag with a drawstring closure. And it was okay. The cube fitted in it nicely. But unfortunately, it went missing somewhere yesterday, so that's entirely on me. But it shows that that makers are starting to add little bits and pieces to them, and generally, I think what we're seeing as the last couple of weeks go on is little refinements being made all over on some of these higher quality cubes. From the first one, which was the total black one, a couple of weeks ago now. Then the red and black one, and now with this new maker who sent a white one out. They've got better and better, to be honest, and I think what we've got there are 3 absolutely fantastic cubes. I think Antsy themselves are going to have a hard time matching that quality, and I think that's going to piss a lot of people off who have backed this Kickstarter campaign, is the fact that the fakes that are out there are so damn good. And I'm a backer, and that pisses me off somewhat. I know I've bought these up, but I really have only bought these to kind of demonstrate and educate a little bit. And these all, I'm not going to keep any of these. These are all going to be given away as Christmas presents, or to mates or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll have some auction. I don't know. We'll get rid of them somehow. But and I'm eagerly anticipating when my official cubes turn up from Antsy Labs, if they ever send me any, of course, which they may have decided not to do. But there you go. So yeah, the quality has been brilliant from from 2 of the 5 factories that we know are producing. Now, I'm still waiting on a sample from one factory. It's quite a distinctive cube they've done. It's a little bit more squared than these cubes. These cubes are kind of rounded on the edges, whereas this other factory, they're more sort of squared on the edges, not entirely square, but sort of more squared. And all their cubes are either in bright yellow or bright blue shells, and they all have really nice bright fluorescent buttons on them, and they look fantastic. And I was hoping that we'd have a couple here now already to show you, but unfortunately we're still waiting on those. I've been checking the tracking number, and they're somewhere between China and the UK. So if they appear in the next few days, then I'll get that post up and let you have a look at that. Right, this is one you haven't seen yet. This one is from a UK seller, in fact, and it cost quite a bit. It was about £10, British pounds. Now, one thing to note here, which we'll come back to in a minute, is the fact that the dials are green. So bear that in mind for a minute. We'll come back to that. What to say about this cube? This cube is absolutely shockingly shit, and pardon my language, but I couldn't have been more disappointed when this one came out, and I'm kind of glad. But first of all, this came in the Kickstarter limited edition colour that we were promised would be limited edition, blah blah blah. Of course, all the companies are ripped off on that, because they've all been reading the comments and the message boards, seeing how everyone's anticipating the Kickstarter green edition cubes. But the colours are right. If they put these colours into these cubes, they'd be fantastic. But instead, they've put them into this kind of cheap, crappy ABS shell. You can see it's got all kind of defects in it. I saw a bit a second ago. It looked pretty junk. There you go. You can see some defects in the corner there. Now, first off, the top button. That clicking noise is actually the buttons on the back. The top one doesn't close or open, so it's always silent. I don't know. You can push it down really hard and it won't latch into position. It just sort of wobbles back between the two. Next, the dial on the side is completely jammed up. Won't turn around at all. It's absolutely useless. I've tried freeing it various ways, but it is totally jammed. I reckon that they probably put it in whilst glue or plastic or something was still molten, and it binded two bits together or something. I don't know. Certainly no ball bearings or anything like that, as we've seen with those two makers. the maker of the white cube and the red and black cube that I reviewed earlier this week. But next thing is the 5 tactile buttons. Now 2 of these should be silent and 3 should make clicky noises. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they haven't even bothered, you know, with taking the clickiness out of 2 of those buttons. So they all click, so you don't have that stealthiness at all. They're also really easy to press in, so you know, even if you're in your pocket, you end up walking along and it's clicking away. You can see more defects on the plastic there, going between those middle 3. You see there's a plastic defect there. Ball bearing doesn't push in. It's really sort of stuck. You can hardly kind of move it around, so that's again really helpful. The joystick barely moves. It's got such a small hole for the stick to go down through that it completely blocks it from being able to move. It's completely pointless. You see that joint there on the corner is just such a badly made cube. And then you have the dials. Now you can see, I think we looked at the red and black one earlier in the week and I showed you that it had metal gears. Now this one you can actually see inside too, and you can see the difference in that this one has plastic gears inside there attaching to the dials themselves. Those of you with a keen eye will also notice that these turny, I don't know what's called them, turny dials are actually smaller and have less notches than the rest of the cubes we've seen. And in all honesty, they turn, they make a nice click, but they downwards nice and easy. You go backwards on them, and you've really got to kind of put some pressure in to get those back. So this cube, I think it was less than £10, but not a lot less than £10, and it is just basically shit and junk. And what I'll probably do is tear that one down at some point in the next day or so and see what's inside. But even that, I you know, who's to say that it isn't just a load of shit inside as well and won't match, you know, what's inside the other. So I even think that's got limited appeal to that, so we'll put that to the back. Now the black and red cube that we've seen, actually, yeah, I'll show you that in a second. The black and red cube that we looked at earlier in the week was, you know, it was slightly less quality than these ones here, but it was okay. If I pop the box on it. Now where's the cube? Now the funny thing is, I've got these 3 fantastic vinyl ones here, 3 different colours. Also off to the side here I've got another high quality vinyl cube in all black, as I ordered so many to start with, just to make sure that we got a good range of them to come in. So I just kind of ordered, I don't know, 10 or so, maybe more, different types of cube from as many retailers as possible. But the weird thing is, these really nice ones, it's kind of hard just to put them in your pocket, and yeah, you're worrying that your keys are scratching them and stuff. So in actual fact, the one that's been in my pocket all week is this one that we reviewed last week. Now it is made of vinyl. There's no defects on it like we see with the green one over there. It's not the best quality in the world, but it's okay. I think it was about $6 US. I think it came from China. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember. It's from Audrey. It's got metal dials, metal gears in there. All the bits work nicely. It's got the 3 clicky switches and the 2 silent ones, exactly as they should be. The dial spins around nicely. It's got a really nice clicky tactile switch. Ball bearing goes around. Now the ball bearing doesn't click, but does spin really fast, which is really cool. The joystick has got a decent bit of give on it. You can move it around. It's got not quite as much as these ones, but it's okay. It moves around enough. It's fine. And to be fair, this is actually the one that's been in my pocket all week because it didn't cost very much, and you know, I haven't really been that bothered if it gets scratched up. And in actual fact, being in my pockets with loose change and keys and all that kind of crap, there's not a mark on it. I mean, it really does show the benefit of vinyl over ABS plastic like we got there. So I really rate this. I know it's of slightly less quality than the other 3 back there, but it's been working flawlessly for over a week now, and I've enjoyed having it, and I have found that it really does. The fidget cube as an idea works brilliantly, and when you get stressed out, it's good to really take your aggression out on it. And even I kind of mocked the worry stone bit in the early parts of the campaign, but I have been finding when it's in my pocket and I put my hand in my pocket that I've been using kind of rubbing away on the worry stone. So I don't know what that says. If this one hadn't have come, and not certainly one of these would have been in my pocket all week instead. But I'm absolutely positive these ones would stand up just as well, if not better, to things like pocket change and keys and stuff. But they're just so pretty. They're just such nice little cubes. I really think Antsy are gonna have a huge problem recreating this quality of cube, especially for the price they are. Now, the prices have been going up on these higher quality ones. eBay sellers and whatnot have been catching on that these are the ones that people like, and so the last week or so we've seen the prices creeping up on these higher quality ones, and on the middle quality ones. This one here, which is the most. I think this one's probably the most common you can find on eBay. These ones you really need to look and do your homework, and eventually you'll know what to look for. But the best way I've been finding to sort of probe sellers on eBay is just ask them to send you a photo of one of their cubes that they've got in stock, and all the retailers here in the UK that I've messaged have all been really nice, and they've all sent me back a picture, and it's shown a 2-part box as opposed to the open flat boxes, and it's been fairly obvious that they've from the picture that it's been of the high quality cubes rather than the absolute shockingly bad cube there, or this one here, which little shiny, little rough around the edges, but it's a nice tough cube, and I really have enjoyed playing with that one this week, and it does, it does really underline the fact that Antsy made from the get-go that, fidgeting and focusing your energy on something, it really does help and it really does work. And so, you got to give them kudos to that. Whatever we've got to say about their communication skills and, answering questions and being active with updates and whatnot, the idea itself is fantastic, and it's not surprising it went over $6 million. And I think we're going to see a lot more of these types of things start appearing, early to mid part of next year, once manufacturing of this year's pre-ordered toys, the big toys, all the Pokemon stuff and that. When that dies down, factories will be looking to make stuff to sell over, the spring and summer, and I think we're going to see a lot more fidgety items start cropping up with additions and refinements and all kinds of other stuff. As I mentioned before, these seem to have metal insides completely. These seem to have a sort of dual plastic and metal insides. The dial is on a metal bearing. The switch, the gubbins for the switch on the top. Don't know if I can get, maybe just see a little bit through there, but that's definitely on metal parts, and so that's going to last. And these ones are all same. They're because they've got the metal on the inside, they really are going to last well. So last thing I want to show you. Now, obviously, the boxes, they all look the same. Now, the black and red cube of the high quality boxes, you can't tell, unfortunately. Sorry, those two are from the same maker. You also have the white cube. Now, the white cube, you can't tell the difference with the boxes. They're identical boxes, so that's impossible. The only thing to note is that the white one came with the velvet bag. So if you see a seller that's all their photos of their cubes show these boxes and a velvet bag, it's going to be a good cube, because this white one is by far the best quality one that's come in so far to me, and it just feels nice. Everything's right on it. I mean, I couldn't praise that one enough. I'm not going to sit here and sell it to you. Everyone's excited for these, and those ones are the ones you want to look out for. Now, there is a difference between the absolute crap cube and the kind of, I don't know, middle of the road, half decent cube, we'll call it, maybe. Now, straight off, you can't really tell the difference by looking at the boxes. They do have plastic box liners somewhere, which I put to the side here, but I seem to misplace those as well. But from the front and on the insides, they're identical. But if you turn the sort of medium quality or low, medium to high quality cube, ignore the handwriting on the side. That's just for me to identify which boxes having to open them up. But these sort of mid-level ones have got this numbering on the side, but if we look at the green one, if you turn it to the same side, doesn't have the number markings to identify which cube it is. Now, I wrote GB as green and black and RB as red and black. So that's something to look out for, and it's not on the other side either. Whereas the red and black one, every side's different. So that's something to look out for. If you see, a cube that has, the tick boxes and the numbers on the side, then that's one of the half decent cubes. They're not awesome, but then they're by no means crap. And I think, for under $10, it's well worth its money, even though it's not quite as pretty and pristine as the other ones. But if you see this box, which has got the 6 features marked on each side, then that's a pretty good indicator that you're looking at one of these. And that's another thing. You just listen to it. It's all loose. It's nasty. All the other cubes, you can shake them to high heaven. They don't make a noise. But these ones are just horrible, and you can see how far that joystick's sticking out there. With such a little hole for it to go through, it barely turns. That was it. The last thing, with the half decent one, although all the bits on it are red, all the features are red, the front dials remain black, and they are of the same size and nature of the ones on those ones. And they work nicely, they go up and down nicely, and they stick out further so you can get more grip on them. But the ultra cheap ones, they don't stick out barely at all, and they're coloured. So that's another good one to look out for if you're looking at photos. If you got coloured features but black dials, then it's probably okay. If you got the coloured features and coloured dials, it's probably an indicator that it's one of these crappy ones. And these are appalling. The switches don't work, nothing works. All the buttons, they all make the same noise. It's made from crappy ABS that feels horrible. It's not horrible. It's slippery, and it's just not a very good cube. For a few bucks, why not? But you would get annoyed with the fact that half the stuff doesn't work, I think. And, eventually that joystick's going to snap off because it's so long and got such a small hole that it's going through. So, that's the wrap up, really. Like I said, there's one more coming in. That's 4 makers we're looking at now. So, these 2 here are one maker, this is another maker, and all 3 of these cubes are of excellent quality. The white one just takes it slightly. It's a little bit more refined, a little bit nicer to use. The buttons are a little bit smoother, but if you've never used one of these ones and you can't compare the 2, then you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They all are fantastic. The middle of the road one, which seems to be the main one on eBay and whatnot, is pretty great. Nothing wrong with that. It generally marked the price as cheaper than these ones. These ones have definitely come up as more expensive. And then we've looked at this, whoever's making these, and whoever is making these should be ashamed of themselves, because it's such a piss poor product for something so simple. To get it so badly wrong that half the features either don't work or barely work is pretty horrendous. And then the only other maker I've identified is the one with the bright yellow and blue casings, and then the fluorescent buttons. And I really do hope I've ordered them from a couple of places, so hopefully one will show up soon and we'll be able to make a quick video and show you that one. I haven't touched one or seen one outside of a photo yet, So I'm really sort of anticipating and looking forward to seeing those. And they've got some really awesome colour choices as well. Some of the ones, from the backer surveys, we had, a lot of people wanted colourful cubes, and we were left with that kind of grey gamer cube type thing with the rainbow buttons, which I personally don't like. I know quite a lot of other people don't like it as well. Um, I like. I wanted either a black or a grey cube, but with bright, really out there colours would have been cool. But anyway, so that's the four main makers that we've seen. Like I say, we've got two makers that are making excellent copies, and you know, there's a lot of them out there. You just gotta. I mean, I have posted links on my other YouTube videos, and I will do on this one as well, for the sellers that I bought these ones from, both in the UK and China. I can't accept any responsibility for those listings. They're not my listings. I don't know the people who are selling these, but as of a couple of days ago, they had stock of these cubes in quite large numbers, and a shipping on the next day, or a 2 day delivery service for domestic shipments. These ones seem quite common on eBay. They're okay. They're normally priced at about $7 or $8 each, and they're okay. If you get landed one of these, I wouldn't be too upset at all. It's a pretty decent cube. And like I say, this one has been in my pocket all week. I'm going to pop it back in my pocket now, because otherwise I'm going to lose that one as well. And then finally we just got the junk, and basically what I'll do is do a tear down on this one and see what's inside, and see if it matches what we think are inside the other ones. So anyway, that's it for now. If I don't post another video before Christmas, and I have a really good Christmas. I hope you found these videos somewhat educating. I know it's kicking the teeth that people are selling fidget cubes before, backers, like most of the people who are watching this are, before, obviously we've got our cubes. Is a bit of a pain. But, you know, hopefully the Antsy cubes will be of this quality or even better. I really hope they do something